Good morning, sixth grade. I really miss you guys. So this morning I decided to do our first math video looking like maybe you look. Maybe you didn't brush your hair yet today, or I'm in my bathrobe, and that's okay because we're now doing school at home. I don't know how long it'll be, but it's kind of fun, and I'm going to try to have fun with it, and I hope you have fun with it too. I'm going to try to teach you the lesson this way. There might be some time that I borrow someone else's video to show you how to do something because it'll just be easier, and maybe they explain it really, really well. And I don't have all the equipment in my home to do it as nicely as some people do. So, all right, we're starting with integers again. We're going to go a little backwards so that you can get a quick review, and then we'll move forward with integers. We're going to add them, subtract them, multiply them, and divide them, and then, of course, use them algebraically. I can't talk this morning. All right, so first thing is integers are part of the real world. They're a part of the real world. We use them all the time. For example, if it's a very cold winter day and we will say it's 5 degrees. Oh, it's so cold. But 5 degrees is a positive number. Well, during that day, we're told that it's going to get colder and colder. So it becomes 4 degrees. Colder, and 3 and 2 and 1. Well, it's now 0 degrees. It is a very cold day, but what happens if the day gets colder? Well, now we are into negative temperatures, negative numbers, and it could become -1 and -2 and -3 and so on. These are positive and negative numbers that we use in the real world. We use the phrase sea level, which was kind of 0. So when divers dive, they put on their snorkel and their tanks and their flippers and all that stuff, and they dive, they go below sea level. So we would say they're 20 degrees below 0 or 20 degrees below sea level. This is a negative type of number that we use in the real world. Banking uses positive and negative numbers as well. When you have money you deposit in, those are positive numbers. When you take money out, those are negative numbers. You put in 100, you take out positive 100, you take out -50, it's 50. I take out another 50, minus 50, it's now 0. If I accidentally think I have more money in there and I take out another 50, I now owe that bank. I have -50 and I have to pay that back very quickly. So that's the first few questions of your homework. We're going to talk about integers in the real world. The next part of your homework is going to talk about this phrase, this term, absolute value. Absolute value. This is the easiest thing that you are going to learn in math ever. Yes, easier than 1 + 1. Yes. So the absolute value of a number is its number without the integer attached for today's purposes. It's its absolute value. So for example, the absolute value of -7 is 7. Its absolute value. The absolute value of +5 is +5. The absolute value of 9 is 9. The absolute value of -21 is 21. And the absolute value sign looks like that if you want to use it. But you know what? For today, we don't have to. The absolute value is the number that's not wearing its sign. Okay? That's its absolute value. All right? I think you have that. You're a pretty smart group. Right? Okay. So that's the next part of your question on your homework. So it's going to say to you, what is the absolute value of -5? And you're going to know that it's the number without its sign. Right? The number without its sign. It's not wearing it. Didn't bring it with it that day. Yeah. Okay. Good. And the next questions, we're going to use a number line on your homework. It's a number line. Here's my poorly drawn number line for all of you. I'm going to sit back a little so you can see. And here you see that we have all of our positive numbers, but then we have negative numbers. I'm going to put in my little negative sign there, okay? Positive and negative numbers. Remember I talked about our cold day where it started at 4 degrees and then it went to 3 degrees and 2 degrees and 1, and then it got even colder, 0, and now it's -1 and -2 and -3 and -4. Cold, cold day. It went into the negative numbers. That's kind of what you're working with today, right? But what if you don't start at 0? What if you start at a different number? So I'm going to write a little integer problem for you, okay? If I have 3, -5, I'm not going to say -5. I'm going to say -5. If you want to say -5, you can. But I'm going to say -5 because I want you to get used to us talking about positive and negative numbers. Now, you might look at this right away and say, I can't do that. I can't take 3 if I only have 3 of something. I can't take 5 out of it. I just can't do it, right? So that's what we're talking about with using negative numbers, okay? But we can find this easily on a number line. So on a number line, we use the first number and we start at the first number. It's +3. Remember, the 3 has no sign in front of it. That means it's positive. If it has a positive sign, that's also positive. So we start at +3 and then we go to -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why did I go that way? Because I'm going to -5. I'm going towards the negative numbers, not the positive numbers. I'm going towards the negative numbers. So you can see that my answer then is -2. There, -2. 3, +3, -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now if this were reversed, if I were to have -3, +5, okay, I'm not saying -3 plus 5. You can say -3 plus 5. This is going to be fun, right? -3 plus 5. You can say that, but what I'm going to do is now we're going to start at the negatives. Now we're going to start at the negatives. We're going to start at -3, and we're going +5. Plus is that way. This tells us where to start. This tells us what direction, and this tells us where to start, this tells us what direction, and this tells us what number to stop at. How many numbers to go? How many numbers to go? So we're going to go 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Landing us this time at +2 or 2. We can write that either way. -3 plus 5 equals +2. That's the number line. On your homework, you're going to have a number line that you're going to use to answer some of the questions, okay? So we're just beginning integers today. Tomorrow, or whenever you want to do it, you could, whenever you want to do it. Tomorrow, your lessons are going to be about adding those integers, which we just did. That's what you just did. You just did them. We're going to add and subtract our integers. And I think you get it. It's not too hard. You've already done this in class with me for a couple days, so this is review. And I think you'll be fine. Remember, all your answers can be written right on your computer, okay? Right on the computer. And when you hand it in to me, when you send it in to me, I can grade it and send it back, and you'll know what you get right away. Well, when I grade it, you know it's back. So I'm looking forward to working with you and making the best of this that we can, having some fun together. And yeah, I'm thinking of having some opportunities, maybe make me a video. That would be fun. And I hope next time, maybe not this week, another time, I will look like a normal human being. Bye.